Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm reviewing Tidal Blades 2, the campaign adventure dungeon crawler. And disclaimer that I got an early review copy of this one. In Tidal Blades 2, 2 to 4 adventurers go through a campaign of combat scenarios, and player actions are controlled through a Nexus grid, where players will put down one card per turn, activating rows and columns and comboing cards together to fire off huge attacks. And in between adventures, you'll visit the city of Naviri to level up your deck and gain other upgrades as you continue the story. So let's discuss 5 key things to know about Tidal Blades 2. So I'm going to start right here with the campaign for my number 5, and this is a pro for my taste. First of all, the campaign structure is smooth. You generally have 2 to 3 adventures, combat encounters in a row, and then you get to go back to town and take a few actions to level up, to heal yourself from what you just faced off against, although you're also leveling up during the missions. You'll also get to resolve fun little encounters that give you little moral choices throughout the adventure. And the narrative itself, at least for my taste, is really well done. The characters are fun, the world building is great. But just a few quick notes for this one. First of all, the campaign is almost entirely linear, so once you've played through it once, you'll have seen all of the story beats. And also, this game is a direct continuation from Tidal Blades 1. Now, they do have a card in the box that kind of summarizes what happened in the previous one, but yeah, you might feel like you're sort of picking up in the middle of a story if you haven't looked at any of this stuff. Next, for number 4, is the advancement of your character, and this is also a pro for my taste. So you have character sheets for each character, and you have a whole bunch of things that level up, so you get a little bit of fun progression every mission. You raise up your traits to have better maxes, have more health, and of course you're adding better cards to your deck and culling away weaker cards to keep it lean and mean. But the coolest advancement thing in the game, I just love this, is the path advancement. So at the beginning of each scenario, you're going to get a card that is unique to your character, and it'll give you 2 sort of side missions in that scenario that you want to try to accomplish. And if you can do at least one of them, you'll get 3 points along one of your path advancements and unlock new cards and other things. And if you can do both of them, you just get 4 points total instead of 3. So really, the game doesn't punish you too much for not being perfect. And I should just quickly mention here that each of the 6 characters in the game plays quite a bit differently and has very different powers and abilities and their own unique set of cards they'll unlock. So lots of replay in investigating the different character options. Next, at number 3, I have another pro for my taste, and that's the scenario design. Each of the chapters has something fun and different going on. Almost all of them have some exploratory aspect where when you do something or reach some place, you'll reveal a new part of the map or new things will happen. And they do a really good job in the scenario design of giving you multiple things to try to do and giving you reasons to run around and reach different spots. There's environmental effects, there's items to reach, the bosses are super different, just lots and lots of variety going on here. Although I will note a small caveat here. In most scenarios, you'll have like 1 or 2 rounds where you just kind of beat things up and fight. So you're not always constantly moving and doing stuff. You'll sometimes just need to battle people. Next, for number 2 point, which is another pro, I got a lot of them here. This one's focused on the enemies and kind of the combat system. I threw a bunch of things in here together because there's too much in this game I like to talk about. So first of all, just the enemies. You have very clear cards that tell you the range of behaviors they can have, explain their special abilities. And at the start of the round, each enemy type draws a card from their unique deck, and you can see what they're doing. If you're faster than them in initiative, you can like kind of move and avoid them. And their AI and their turn resolution is super fast. You might move them a couple spaces. They attack with a single die roll. The boss battles, of which there are many, are also really cool because their cards have an effect on the back and the front. So each time you flip a card for their activation, you also get some ongoing power that affects what the players do for that round. A lot of variety here. And then when you get down to actually fighting, you'll be rolling dice to combat enemies. And here, this might not work for some people because there are better results and worse, and sometimes you'll just roll really badly. But I'll note there's lots of mitigation, lots of resources that let you change results or make things into hits or re-roll dice, and a lot of those are cooperative where you can help other players out or even re-roll for their enemy rolls if the enemy hurts them really badly. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention something I really enjoy with the enemies, which are these difficulty modifiers. So as you do better in the campaign, if you beat scenarios more easily, you'll get more and more of these added to enemies, and it gives them little ongoing boosts and powers. On the other hand, if you keep getting your butt kicked, you get more and more Citadel aid cards, which are one-time powers you can use to give yourselves a boost so you can win more easily. So just a really nice natural difficulty system that works really smoothly with the rest of the enemy gameplay. And finally, we get to my favorite thing about the game, full pro, big pro, and that is this card matrix system. So you'll have 4 cards in your hand, and you pick one at the start of each turn, and then when your turn comes around, you pick where you want to put that card, and whether you want to activate the row or column you place it in, and you're going to get bonuses and actions on the spaces printed on the board, but you'll also reactivate cards you already placed before, and it's such a great tactical puzzle. And whenever you fill a row or column element, activate it, all those cards go away. So you have this ebb and flow of power and ability as you build up big combos and then have to rebuild again. And as the game goes along, they keep making this more and more complex and yummy. You get wounds that'll block up spots. You get scars added to your deck that are forced to be placed on the grid. You get items to boost your powers as you activate different spaces. You also get status effects that cause negatives whenever a given card is activated. And one of my favorite things in the game that I haven't even mentioned yet that's connected to the card play is the initiative system. So every time you play a card, it'll move your token up or down a certain number of spots on the initiative track, and then initiative plays out in a round from top to bottom. So you have even more tactical nuance to which card you're playing and what you're choosing to do. Sometimes you want enemies to go before you because you have a lot of shields built up and you want to block them before those shields go away. Sometimes you want to get the jump on enemies to move out of their range or kill them before they can attack you. So overall, if you're looking for a tactically deep and engaging dungeon crawler with awesome combat, a great initiative system, a great world and storyline, Tidal Blades 2 is one of my favorites of the year. I think it's really awesome. But on the other hand, you might want to avoid this one if you don't want a linear campaign, if you want lots of branching choices and narrative, or if you don't like dice resolution in combat, or if you want a really simplistic, straightforward dungeon crawler. The grid system and the card play does require some thought and planning. And if you want to see the game in action, I have both an introductory scenario video and one of a later scenario that shows the city phase and kind of how things evolve. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.